All right, we are starting the pre-4.2 statistics review today because before we start section 4.2 of our book, we have to remember all the Math 1 stats calculations. And so I'm going to show you some definitions here. You can feel free to pause the video and write these down. I'm just going to generally say that I just Googled the definitions and wrote them in. So check it out. We're going to be looking at the mean or the average, the median, the middle of your data set, the mode, the most often occurring, the range, the minimum, minus the subtraction of the difference between the largest and smallest values, the min and the max. And then what is the min and the max, highest and lowest piece of the data set. We're going to be talking about something called the Q1, Q2, and Q3. Those are your 25% of the data, your quartiles. We're going to be talking about a 5-number summary, which is the min, the max, the Q1, 2, and 3. How do we get an interquartile range? And how do we calculate to get the outliers? So if I again, feel free to pause this video and write those down if you didn't want to Google search and paste them yourselves. So the outlier test, we use a little formula here. So we're also going to learn how to calculate the outliers of things using these formulas. And we're going to be calculating the interquartile range using this formula as well. I'm kind of going fast through this because in class we're going to go more slowly, but if you're watching this from home, you can pause the video and look at these actual formulas to write them down. But so let's go practice on some data sets here. This is what we're going to be doing in class for the next 2 days. On data set 1, they're just asking you for the 5-number summary. And so based on those definitions from a second ago, 5-number summary just wants the min, the max, the Q1, Q2, and Q3. So here I go. Looking at this data set, I need it to be in order and from least to greatest before I can get started. So look at this set of data. What do you see as the lowest value? So 10 is the first lowest value. Look through the data. Looks like next is 20. Notice how I'm crossing them out as I go. Next, it looks like 30. And then 30 again. And then 30 again. And then next is 40. 40. Next looks like 50. I don't see any other 50s. Next is 60. There's another 60 right here. And then 70. And then 80. And then 90. Now that the data set's in order, you always want to check that however many pieces of data you started with, that's how many you rewrote. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces of data. So some students make mistakes when writing the data. Be very careful. So here I go with the 5-number summary. My minimum is 10. My maximum is 90. And then I need to do some work on the data to get the Q1, the Q2, and the Q3. So finding the middle of the data, it's an even set of numbers. We've got 4 numbers. So middle of the data goes 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 on each side, and right here would be my middle. That's my Q2, and I take the average of 40 and 40. Well, it's the same number, so my Q2 is just 40. Now I look at the first half of the data, and I find the middle of that. So I've got 7 things over here. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. It lands, because it's an odd first half, it lands straight on one of the values. So my Q1 is 30. And then finally, my Q3, the second half of the data, I go to the true middle. Do you see how there's 7 pieces of data, so my middle would be 60? So there we go. If they did ask me for the mode, you'd look for the most often occurring. Do you notice that 30 occurs 3 times? So mode is 30. But right now, we're not doing the mean. We're not doing anything else. We're just getting the 5-number summary, so we're done. Pause the video now and try data set 2, and then see how you do. Okay, let's go look and see if it's in order. It is not in order, so we have to put it in order. What's the smallest value this time? It looks like a 30. Okay, and then what comes next would be 40. And then next it looks like 50. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I always don't leave enough space to write all the data. So try to write it way left. See how I'm going to be running out of space here in just a second? And then 60 and 60. So see how that worked out? That's super annoying when we're trying to work with the data. So please try to write this as far left as possible and don't do like Ms. Sanchez did and run out of space. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pieces of data. Let's go count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pieces of data. Always double check yourself. Since it's 13, there's going to be a true middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My true middle looks like it's going to land at 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my Q1, Q2, Q3, my middle is going to be 50. For my Q3, I need to look at the first half of the data. Sorry, the second half of the data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to go to the middle since it's an even second half. And so in between 50 and 50 is just 50 again. Looking at the front half, 30, 30, 30, 40, 40, 40. My middle is going to be between 30 and 40. So if you can't visualize that between 30 and 40 is 35, then you need to add that. You need to say 30 plus 40 and divide it by 2, which is 70 divided by 2. So we take the average of those two numbers to find the middle of 35. My minimum of the data, my lowest number is 30. My maximum number is 60. So I'm going to pause this first video here, just working with the 5-number summary, and then I'm going to do a second video for part 1, 2, and 3 of doing the full work on each data set.